Well, well, yes, I am. I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefon Diggs.
It was the picture-perfect announcement that broke the internet. Cardi B, glowing and triumphant, revealing she and NFL superstar Stefon Diggs were expecting. On the surface, it looked like the ultimate power move from a couple that has dominated headlines for months. But while the world sees a fairy tale romance finally getting its happy ending, they're missing the real story. And it's a story defined by chaotic timelines, shocking scandals, and a controversial past that neither of them wants exposed. Because just before this carefully crafted reveal, the relationship was privately hanging on by a thread. Just weeks before the perfectly staged pregnancy reveal, Cardi B wasn't celebrating. She was on the attack. The whispers about a baby had been swirling, and she wasn't just denying them. She was aggressively shutting down anyone who dared to ask. The pressure reached a boiling point outside a packed LA event when a reporter crossed the line, asking not just if she was pregnant, but who the father was. In a flash, Cardi's temper erupted. A pen went flying from her hand, hurled directly at the journalist. It was a shocking moment that was quickly scrubbed from the internet, but it revealed everything about the chaos behind the scenes. This wasn't just a simple denial. It was the reaction of someone whose story was far more complicated than the public realized. And that complicated story began long before the pregnancy rumors. In fact, their entire relationship was built on a foundation of unresolved drama. The romance with Diggs didn't just appear out of thin air. It ignited while Cardi's bitter divorce from Offset was still being dragged through the courts. The ink on the divorce papers wasn't even dry, but that didn't stop Offset from throwing his own gasoline on the fire. He took to social media, dropping cryptic posts suggesting his exes never seemed to find success after leaving him. It was a clear shot at Cardi, adding a layer of toxic history to a romance that was barely getting started. But while they seemed to be defying the odds, their perfect union was about to hit its first major and very public disaster. Just as the world was getting used to them as a couple, the first major red flag appeared. Without any warning, every photo of Stefon Diggs suddenly vanished from Cardi B's Instagram feed. It was a classic celebrity blackout, a move designed to send a clear message. The rumors ignited instantly. It was over. Fans were left wondering what could have possibly gone so wrong, so fast. Their whirlwind romance had been intense, public, and seemingly unstoppable. So why did the fairy tale suddenly turn into a ghost story? Well, it turns out their perfect relationship was rocked by a scandal that even Cardi couldn't ignore. The reason for the blackout wasn't just a simple argument. It was a full-blown scandal that played out for the world to see. Just before Cardi erased him from her social media, a damning video went viral. It showed Stefon Diggs living it up on a yacht, but he wasn't alone. He was surrounded by a crowd of other women, and if that wasn't bad enough, he was seen holding a baggie filled with an unidentified pink substance. The worst part? Reports quickly surfaced that the yacht belonged to Cardi B herself. The betrayal was shocking, public, and undeniable. It seemed to expose a side of Diggs that went beyond just being a star athlete, hinting at a reputation he'd been trying to outrun for years. The reason for the blackout wasn't just a simple argument. It was a full-blown scandal that played out for the world to see. Just before Cardi erased him from her social media, a damning video went viral. It showed Stefon Diggs living it up on a yacht, but he wasn't alone. He was surrounded by a crowd of other women, and if that wasn't bad enough, he was seen holding a baggie filled with an unidentified pink substance. The worst part? Reports quickly surfaced that the yacht belonged to Cardi B herself. The betrayal was shocking, public, and undeniable. It seemed to expose a side of Diggs that went beyond just being a star athlete, hinting at a reputation he'd been trying to outrun for years. And as it turns out, that reputation wasn't new. In fact, it's been an open secret for years. After the yacht video went viral, a damning clip from 2017 suddenly resurfaced, revealing what Diggs' own teammates thought of him long before he met Cardi. In a brutally honest locker room interview from his time with the Minnesota Vikings, players were asked a simple question: which teammate would you never want your sister to date? And his longtime friend and fellow receiver, Adam Thielen, didn't even hesitate before naming Stefon Diggs. It wasn't just a joke, it was a shocking insight from those who knew him best. They saw the red flags long before the public did, hinting that his flashy persona hid a much more complicated reality. And that reality was rooted in a string of messy romantic conflicts. The truth is, Diggs' romantic life has always been a source of drama. His dating history is a messy trail of public breakups and head-scratching relationships that paint a picture of chaos. For years, he was in a tumultuous on-again, off-again relationship with his ex, Tay Heckard, with whom he shares a child. But the real headline grabber was his controversial romance with the influencer Winter Blanco, a woman a full 15 years older than him. Their dynamic was constantly dissected online, with many questioning the nature of their highly public, yet intensely private connection. It all points to a clear pattern. Diggs doesn't just have relationships. He has dramatic, complicated entanglements. And that same chaotic energy doesn't just stay in his personal life. It follows him right onto the football field. Professionally, Stefon Diggs has cultivated a reputation as the master of the cryptic message. Whenever drama brews behind the scenes, he takes to social media, firing off vague, passive-aggressive tweets that send fans and analysts into a frenzy. It's a habit that has defined his career, making him one of the most unpredictable players in the league. This drama isn't just online, it spills onto the field. He's been caught on camera in heated sideline blowups, visibly frustrated with his quarterbacks and coaches. The tension got so bad at one point that a former coach admitted he was very concerned about Diggs' attitude. It all paints a picture of a star who thrives on instability, creating public spectacles whether he's on the turf or off it. And it's that exact energy that defined the bizarre way he and Cardi decided to handle their own spiraling relationship drama. After months of swirling breakup rumors, public scandals, and cryptic online messages, their strategy for fixing things was as bizarre as it was brilliant. Instead of releasing a statement or hiding from the spotlight, they did the exact opposite. They chose a packed NBA playoff game to officially hard-launch their relationship, putting on a show that no one could ignore. Sitting courtside, they packed on the PDA, hugging, kissing, and whispering in each other's ears, all while knowing every camera in the arena was pointed directly at them. It wasn't just an appearance, it was a calculated performance. They were daring the world to question their relationship. Attempting, but that courtside spectacle wasn't the real story of their reunion. Behind the scenes, the resolution to their summer blackout was even more transactional. After Cardi wiped him from her feed and the world declared them over, Diggs made a calculated move to win her back. He didn't just apologize, he pulled out the ultimate power play. He gifted her a jaw-dropping, diamond-encrusted Patek Philippe watch, a piece worth a small fortune. And just as planned, Cardi immediately took to social media, flaunting the extravagant gift for her millions of followers. The message was loud and clear. Whatever happened on that yacht was officially forgiven, bought and paid for. He had purchased his way back into her life, and she made sure everyone knew it. It was a move that solidified their reunion, setting the stage for their biggest and most volatile chapter yet. And that brings us to the pregnancy, the biggest and most shocking move in a relationship defined by them. For a couple whose entire history has been a relentless cycle of public fights, shocking videos, and professional meltdowns, this isn't just a next step. It's a high-stakes gamble. Their short time together has been a masterclass in chaos, swinging wildly from social media blackouts to courtside spectacles and back again. They've proven that their foundation is built on a mixture of genuine affection and explosive drama. So this baby, the ultimate symbol of commitment, forces a critical question. Is this the move that finally grounds them, creating the unstoppable power couple they want the world to see? Or is it just adding fuel to a fire that's destined to burn out of control? So when you look past the curated photos and celebratory headlines, you find a story that's anything but a fairy tale. It's a turbulent journey that started with an unfinalized divorce and was defined by flying pens, public scandals, cryptic meltdowns, and a love that was seemingly bought back with diamonds. This isn't just a relationship, it's a spectacle. And now, with a baby in the mix, the stakes have never been higher. So the real question isn't whether they'll be good parents, but something far more explosive. Is this baby the bond that will finally bring them the stability they crave? Or is it the start of the most unpredictable and volatile celebrity story of the year? Only time will tell if we're watching a love story or a ticking time bomb.